Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Brightlingsea Town Council meeting of the 21st of August 2025. If I may take item 1, apologies for absence.
Apologies for Councillor Clark.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the minutes of the meeting of the 17th of July, and I wonder if you can confirm they are an accurate record of the plan. Any comments from those? Do I assume that we accept them?
Yeah.
Thank you. Propose those second?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, I'll sign it later. Oh, sorry. It was a unanimous vote, I assume? Yeah. Moving on to the Chair's announcements, you'll see a record of the events I attended, and I'd also like to thank Deputy Mayor Rick Morgan for the events that he covered for me. I understand they were most enjoyable and I'll try not to miss them. Thank you very much. I have a couple of extra announcements this week, this month. Very often, as councillors will know and some of the public will know, that in the front office here, it can get quite hairy. People come in quite agitated, and I think the front office, which includes Julie and Tracy, of course, do a sterling job. And I received an email this week from Robert Needham, BA, Honorary Alderman of Wivenhoe Town Council. And I thought I'd like to read this out as a record of what he said and talked about our front office staff. Dear Councillor Pavey, my wife was scheduled for a visit to the hearing clinic on Friday the 15th of August. There was some confusion with us on the actual date. Accordingly, I phoned Brightlingsea Town Council to inquire about the date for the clinic. I must say I found the staff to be very informative, cheerful and helpful with my inquiry. Today, we attended the clinic and found out that the car park payment machine was out of order. Once more, staff at the office were more than helpful in guiding me through the necessary process of obtaining a ticket via my mobile phone. Both experiences represent Brightlingsea in a very good light and left my wife and I feeling that we were respected and welcome. Well done. So, congratulations. My second one this evening is a statement from Brightlingsea Town Council concerning the issue of illegal immigrants being housed in the town. Brightlingsea Town Council wishes to clarify that neither the councillors, officers or mayor have, after extensive research, have identified any substantive information to confirm that such a proposal exists. At this stage, the matter appears to be based solely on the rumours circulating within the community. We have made a number of inquiries into the subject, the finding of which I will summarise. The responsibility of decision making is wholly with the government ministries. Responsibility to lands in the Home Office, which is the lead department, and including the housing of these asylum seekers and individuals without legal right to remain in the UK. Local authorities can, in theory, decline new placements on the basis of lack of capacity in the local services. However, this often happens retrospectively, which I think is exactly what happened in Epping. Consultation with Brightlingsea Town Council. From what we've just said and researched, it is highly unlikely that Brightlingsea Town Council would be consulted or even notified in advance of such decisions being implemented. It is important to understand, whatever the position of this council or the local authority, ultimately the government has the power to make the final decision. Brightlingsea Town Council's likely position, should a proposal arise, would be likely to object on two main grounds: inadequate local infrastructure. Medical and dental services are already overstretched, struggling to meet existing local demands, and any additional pressure would have a significant negative impact on the community. Policing in the town is already limited, with resources stretched and high levels of vandalism causing concern. And transport connections are extremely poor. Brightlingsea is accessible only by road, with a very limited public transport provision. Second implication is the loss of care home provision. Brightlingsea already suffers from a shortage of housing for the elderly and infirm, as recognised in our emerging neighbourhood plan. Allowing currently unused care homes to change status to residential accommodation, even though temporary, risks never reverting back to their intended use. This would result in a long-term less of essential provision for the local population. Finally, Brightlingsea has a population of approximately 8,500 and lies on a peninsula with only a single road connecting it to the rest of Tendring. Any significant sudden increase in the population in such a geographically constrained area would place unsustainable pressure on the local infrastructure and risk altering the character of the town and the long-term detriment to the residents. We hope this sets out clearly what Brightlingsea Council's involvement and attitude is concerning this issue. We'll of course continue to monitor the system and situation as best as we can going forward. However, without confirmed and verified information, we will not be able to comment any further. Should anybody here or elsewhere wish to see a more detailed statement, the clerk will provide. Thank you. Thank you very much. If we now may move on to item 4, which is the declaration of interests, pecuniary interests, or other registrable interests on the agenda. No, I don't think you have those. So moving on then to item 5, which is a report from County Councillor Alan Goggett.
Okay there, or is that here?
Yeah, fine.
Evening everybody. Not every council has meetings in August, but this, you know, St Osyth has as well, so I'll be going into that afterwards. Good evening. Been fairly extensive notes this month, so I'll pick a couple of things out that I think are significant, and I'll hold back and just see if there's any questions from everybody else. I suppose the thing that's on everybody's mind at the moment is the unitary situation. Just to bring you up to date, I'm sure most of you know, the Essex County Council, Thurrock and Southend have got to submit their suggestions by September the, I think it's 5th, 6th, 7th. And I've sent out to, by the clerk, a meeting I attended with all the briefing notes. I'll be absolutely blunt, it's huge. It's a huge document, there's plenty of stuff in it. But the thing that stands out is this bit here, which is the thing that talks about the number of unitaries. So the one that appears to carry most weight and appears to fit the government's requirements is what's called 3 unitaries, which is us being Tendring, Colchester, Braintree and Uxbridge. And that's the picture there, so that's the 3. The key issue there is the population. The government is trying to get at 500,000 in our area, which is 603,000. In the middle of the county, it's got 563,000, and in the south of the county, 729. There are others in. Different councils have taken different sources, different opinions. It's interesting, but obviously the key decision won't be made by any of those at all. The key decision will come down probably in November. I did sit through the meeting, so if anybody has a look at the minutes and there's anything they'd like to ask, please feel free to ask. So that's a key issue for me. A couple of small points. There's some work going on in Church Road September 3rd for 4 nights, I think, 8 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock in the morning. Belfield Avenue, August the 6th is 5 nights, again 8 till 6. I am hoping this is the end of a long saga. I'd just like to put on record my thanks to Julie and Tracy for the work they've done in helping me get through this, and to my old mate Nick Judson, who's been here all the time. There is a presentation I'm going to about charging points over pavements, which is something that the whole country's talking about. I will know a bit more once I've attended that. And I think, to be blunt, I'll stop there because that's already sort of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes into my 5 minutes.
Is any, Jane?
Going back to the LGR, we have a really intensive briefing by Ian Davidson through tendering, and a lot of the meeting was governed last week by this. And I can tell you that the 3 district councillors that sit here sit as independents. We have actually backed 5 unitaries, not 3, and that's the way the meeting was heading, wasn't it? And that's the tendering meeting. We disagree with 3, we feel 5 gives us more contacts, more localism, more people closer to us. So I can say as 3 independent district councillors, we are supporting the 5.
Right.
What does that mean?
That would be tendering Colchester and Braintree.
Okay, any other questions? So can I just open it up then to the public, that anybody has a question for Alan, from the county council perspective?
Well, November is obviously the key decision, but what it says in the white paper, the government's got the final say. So they'll make the final say. And just a little bit of information, when Southend had their survey on for the district council, there was only 7,500 people replied to that. And Alan might tell me the population of Greater Essex is 1.5 million, is it? So a lot of the general public are apathetic, or they don't want to know. But I thought that was quite disappointing, and you've still got your survey of 1,400 people from Essex County, which are selected people, businesses, ethnic minority, and I still can't find out how much that's going to cost the ratepayer. It's there in black and white, so if you can try and find that out, but
So that's the survey, the selective survey.
the selective survey, and it's done by a renowned worldwide, although they're based in London, but it's going to cost a lot of money, and I don't know what the survey cost at Southend. But what I'm trying to say is, they're disappointing results about this. The general public, are they enthusiastic? I don't think it's going to be a success. We're going to, I don't know how many councillors we're going to lose, but obviously we're going to lose our tendering councillors, which are really useful with the parish councils. And am I right, there's 47 parish councils in tendering, and you've got 8 representatives for Essex County, are these just right?
They tell you that the bit I do know the answer to, the tendering district local highway span's got 8 members on it, 8 county councils, some of whom of course are also tendering district councils. But the only one that isn't, I'm fairly sure, is me.
So we obviously, we're not sure how many unitary councillors we're going to have, but that's all I've got to say really. So
Just to add, can I?
Yeah, please.
Okay. When I was asked a question somewhere else and somebody else asked it, we were told that the cost of the survey was funded by central government.
well, that's fine if it is.
That's what I was told.
Yeah, that's fine if it is. Yeah.
But I will double check that if that's
Please.
Alan, the thing you sent to us, which was the presentation on the 5-3, whatever it was, is that something we can give to the public?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll give you a copy for you, leave, if you'd like one.
Yeah, I will have it, because I'd like to know how much Uttlesford are in debt, actually in debt. Is it 500,000? Gary Scott tells me it's 500,000. Councillor Barry might back that up. And how are we going to pay? Who's taking the debt on?
Yeah, I think there's so many questions and not many answers at the moment, Richard, and I think what has been said by Jane is correct, that we would be supporting the three, current district councils to form into one unitary. We're already working with them. As Jane says, it's about sensible geography, it's about efficiency, resilience and so on. And all those discussions will come out in the wash, but I think in the agenda today in Councillor Steady's report, he has put the briefing notes from the chief executive that we had last week. So you can follow them. It is a moving target,
Yeah.
like all the time, and evolving. And I think the final submission has to be in by the 26th of September on final submissions.
And just one final point, there has been no answer from the information from the parish and town councils, which we've got this organisation Essex thing, council of courts on it, and they've written to the relevant minister, but they haven't had any answers about what's going to happen to the parish councils. They say, well, that'll remain the same, but that's all I've got to say. I won't say more.
Okay.
I'll bore you otherwise.
Is there any other questions for Councillor Gordon? Alan, thank you very much.
I guess this gives me just 30 seconds. I've been made aware of a petition from 28 occupants of Ladysmith Avenue.
Right.
We are the owners and occupiers of houses, Ladysmith Avenue, desire to bring to the noise of course to us and damage that are occupied by heavy traffic passing through the road. There's tremendous speed at which the traffic travels our houses, shake and tremble to the very foundation. It's also a danger to life for them. We suggest that notice board are placed at the north end of the avenue asking drivers to please nice road. This is down at Walton, for example. Someone asked, is it possible to do something against the matter? Only those who lived in the main road could realise the nuisance. The vibration from the heavy traffic was very great, and the danger arising from excessive speed was even greater. Someone considered that the matter should be dealt with by the police under the dangerous driving heading. And someone said it was difficult to get permission to regulate traffic through the town via speed limit. That's from the Brightlingsea Urban District Council meeting of the 15th of April 1925.
Oh, you remember that, like?
Oh, very sharp.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you very much.
I'm off to St. Is that all right?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Can I say this for a little bit?
Yeah. Right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if we can carry on, we move on to item 6 then, update from the district councillors. Who's going to go for that? You go first.
Sorry. Well, nothing to add, unless anyone has any questions. Just echo what's been said, there are constant meetings and updates, as I said, but with generally more questions than answers about what we may expect in the next couple of months. But I do think that as a council, town council, it'd be useful for us to have a meeting perhaps before the meeting there's a meeting scheduled with the district officers at the end of September. I think trying to put together all the information is a bit overload, I think, at the moment, but if we can put together a briefing meeting before that meeting, I think that would be useful for all town councillors, and I think Jane said, that would be useful as well. So I think we'll try and schedule our same in September.
Yeah.
And get as many people as we can and update them on what's going on, yeah.
I'll put an action form for Tracy to organise that a week before.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any questions? Should we go around the table then? Graham?
Yep, so you've got my report in front of you. I'll just get on some of the top points there. I've put, all members got a copy of the waste review, which I sort of put out, and that's listed on there. Just to say, the main thing there is obviously the new waste collection contract. That's coming out in September, the first draft. I think Dan will probably enlarge on that a little bit, because obviously the new contract will be interesting to see what is in that, because obviously it needs to be more robust than what has been in place before. form. And I've had a conversation with the portfolio holder, and he made a couple of quite interesting comments, which maybe we can add to our submission when we do the review of the service which we actually get. And also there's some money to be saved there, because I noticed on the finance documents, we spent £450 on dog waste, removal dog waste in the last month. And I think that goes to normally around about the normal waste as well. I think that works out about £2,000 a month throughout the year, I think. So I think there's, if we do it properly, I think we can do a saving there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite a bit to go through.
Graham, just before you move on, can I just ask something? So the renegotiations going through will actually be for how long? Because it presumably will be then transferred into the union.
Yeah, the reason why, sorry, Jamie, because, yeah, go on.
Originally, it was going to be a 7 year plus 7 year, but because when this unitary or LGR started to be floated, they've gone back to renegotiate a shorter term, so that it will go over to the unitary, but possibly only for a year or so until everything's settled, and then
Oh, so it's quite a short-term contract.
Buy it together. But it is, but bear in mind ours runs out next year, so we've got to do something, whatever.
I'm so sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, that's okay. Just going on to the scrutiny quote which I've put in there, and I'm going to link this to LGR, because obviously we've got a scrutiny committee. Braintree and also Colchester have got scrutiny committees as well. So I'm not quite sure that's going to work under a big unitary. So again, that's something which we've got to take into account. But what we've done as a committee, we're going to put two breaks in our deliberations. So we've done our work programme for the next year, but we're going to put a break in October when we get the first submission, and also in March when other decisions will be made, to try and sort of be a bit flexible with our work programme, because we could quite possibly discuss things which won't be relevant anymore, or the other two, you know, have already done, we've already done, so there's going to be a cross-fertilisation on that. The interesting one I found really, if you read the text, the presentation which we had last week, is it sort of it seems to remind me of the Russian Revolution. Because there's a comment there which thought neighbourhood area committees are going to be probably one of the main new include all of the relevant people from each community. But then from our point of view, I just thought that maybe if we go that route, then maybe something like the neighbourhood plan would fit into that. You know, maybe sort of advise on that. So, yeah, you can see the worst photographs there. I think I should get a library. We have the treatment, the sewage treatment, and okay. Yeah, and then, as I say, you've got the LGR presentation there at the back.
Any questions for Graham?
No, good report, Graham.
Thank you. Over to Jane.
Just to add that if you remember under the local planning for the build all these houses, there was a call for land. And not much come in on the first one, they then put out a second call for land, and I've got a meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday next week where we'll be told what land has come forward from the builders. So that is watch this space.
Can I just confirm that that's the land that's come forward that they're going to include in the plan, or that's
No,
going to
it's
be
a
on?
negotiation with the committee first, because they'll tell us everything that's coming, I think, and then they will say, actually, that's not suitable.
Right,
So then Wednesday will probably follow it on.
okay.
So that's all.
That'll be interesting.
I'll let you know.
Sorry, Jane, you have a
Just
question?
one question, Jane, on your updated policy. Can you just, it says vibration guidance, best practice for managers. looking past the grounds manager.
Well, we've already got a vibration policy, you have to have it anyway, I know it's, and it's for,
A mechanical
mechanical
engineers, yeah.
tools.
I'm asking for a friend.
Get a white finger.
Yeah, it's for the mechanical
Okay,
drills
thank
and
you.
things like that.
Okay.
It's not
I'll
about
do
that.
that. I'll do that.
Can I just make, just to reiterate a point that James made, is very important about the Tendring District the care line, the transfer has been successfully undertaken, and it's part of this Colchester Amphora training. And not only have all staff kind of been transferred to new provider, but all users of Careline have had massive support and consultation in terms of their new care provision, and I think we're satisfied that they are getting a better service at a fairer price.
Right.
So I think if it, it could be used instead of, the abolished care line, but actually it was in a poor state and needed some serious kind of surgery, and that's happened, and we quite clear that it's been a very successful exercise.
Good, excellent.
Can I just
Yes,
come back to what Nick was saying, that it's another rumour that Tendring have already started their redundancies and Careline was named all the way through. I need to tell, other than 2 people who retired, every member of staff has gone into a job.
okay.
And it was those who retired, it was their choice, but everybody has been offered a job on the same terms. So Tendring have not started any of their redundancies.
Good, okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on then to item 7, the team's reports.
Good night, folks. Good night.
Take the team's reports in the order they're written down, so the community assets, SDO.
So the meeting was on the 12th of August, here at Parish Hall. We agreed the notice of the meeting held on the 8th of July. We had some updates on the waterfront development strategy. Formation of a working group was agreed. Bateman's Tower, again, we had updates in relation to the fact that no revised schedule had been received, and no monthly updates received. We had updates on Lower Park and Western Promenade, and an email from the Scouts was discussed. Living Remembrance and the basketball court had already been discussed, and they're subject to submissions from Councillor Steady at the next meeting in relation to costings. The lodging was the same. We had a discussion about the skate park and the decision to allow an individual to repaint the skate park. Should have been a decision for FCA and not for an individual. So recommendations from that meeting were that in relation to the waterfront development strategy, the working group was formed consisting of councillors Atkinson, Barry, Howard, Mitchell and Steady, and we scheduled a date in the diary for the 15th of September at 10 AM, the inaugural meeting of that development group. Bateman's Tower, Cafe, the town clerk was asked to send a letter asking for a revised schedule of works and to diarise a monthly meeting update. In relation to Lower Park recreation fields, it was agreed that I would contact the rugby club and find out what was being held in the storage container that the Scouts had asked to be removed. I'd speak to Councillor Court to see if it was being used by the Brandwood Day, and also speak to the Scouts to see what the plans were once the container had actually been removed. We didn't have a report from Terry because he was on holiday, but we had an update post the meeting in relation to the boating lake, and that's that the blue-green algae remains in the lake. The lake will be flushed out in the second week of September as there's exceptionally high tides that I hope will be enough to clear out the algae and be able to keep it clean for the rest of the year. And that's it from the FCA.
Thank you, Miss.
Yeah, sorry, just a slight amendment on the waterfront development strategy. It was actually the Western Prom Working Party that we formed, that we said So it should be
Oh,
the,
sorry,
yeah,
yes.
the WPWP
Too
or
many Ws.
WDSWG.
WD-40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it should really do.
Yeah, should read Western Prom as opposed to,
Yeah.
Right,
so
okay,
WP as opposed to W.
thank you. Any questions?
On the voting like that, to declare an interest on and then the one council, when you say they intend to clear out the lake, is it the intention to empty it totally and refill it?
I believe so, yes. Yeah,
Because that's what it's needed all along.
I think Terry's hoping that the tide will be high enough to empty that completely, leave it for a while and
Well,
then.
if it's not, we'll just have to wait, won't we? But at least it's the right
I
course
think
is
there
being
might be some
followed.
more
here.
tides in
Yeah.
October as well that might be suitable, but we're going to try these 2 times in September to begin with.
Excellent.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much. We then can move on to the, oh, do beg your pardon. Sorry, jumping on. So, I presume you're a proposer
I'm
of the,
proposing them.
can we have a seconder for those, thank you, Mick. All those in favour? Thank you, it's carried unanimously. We therefore move on now to the Environment and Transport. June.
I'll just read out a few recommendations. The first one was the small animal wildlife signs, which is the hedgehog signs, which council initially has taken up. And we recommend that this goes ahead. And the project goes ahead with £500 funding from Brightlingsea City Town Council, £600 raised by the Hedgehog Group, and Councillor Mitchell to email County Councillor Godwin the details of other posts that need to be used.
And I just need to check.
Yeah, if you could just.
Yeah, I'll just explain it a bit further. So initially, it was proposed that there were 3 signs, at 3 different locations. Councillor Godwin took that away, and the planning of the local highways panel suggested that there should be 6 signs. So they wanted to establish the reasoning behind that. Apparently it's to try and create safety zones. The signs need a safety element in order to go ahead. He identified some lampposts, but 2 of the lampposts weren't suitable because one was rotten and one was concrete, and apparently they don't hang signs on concrete lampposts.
Right.
So we can identify a different lamppost for the one that's rotten, but unfortunately the ones in Ladysmith Avenue down the side that are concrete are all concrete. So we suggested that it might still create a safety zone by utilising the school crossing signs at the bottom, but apparently that's not sufficient. We would need another hedgehog sign at the bottom. So that's why it's come back to council, for council to agree the proposal of 6 signs as opposed to the initial 3 signs that we asked for to create these safety zones that are required by the local highways panel. It's not going to be in different locations, it will just be a stretch of road as opposed to one sign facing one direction.
Oh, I see, okay.
And we're not asking for any more money than we asked for originally. And we still haven't got the costing from Councillor Godwin, but he did say that the funding was in place
Right.
and the project was approved.
We've minuted that, don't worry.
We have, thank goodness. So
So-
that, he asked us to bring it back to council just to make sure that council approved the zones basically.
Is that
Yeah,
you
just to
can-
say that our 20th is plenty signs we had to take down because there was quite a few complaints from the public that they were hitting their car, what's it called, the recognition.
Yeah, cruise controls.
So we need to look at that. We've taken the signs down. It was just an initiative, it wasn't a law, it was just, so we're looking at it, we're reviewing it, but hopefully they will go up again in the near future. They won't stay in one place, they hopefully will be moved around town. And we hope it gets support next time when we do it.
And they'll be of a different design.
There'll be a different design, different colour.
Different colour green, yeah. Okay, so that's not that proposal is yet to come back? Or is it gonna,
No, that's, we've got, that's coming up at the next meeting.
Fine,
We'll discuss that, yeah.
so it's something else? Just to know then that the original ones have all been taken down and removed, yeah?
All taken down, yeah.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions for you?
Just to say the no entry signs at Victoria Place and War Memorial, we did bring this up with Alan at the meeting, but he said he needs more evidence. But I thought we've given him photos, etc., haven't we? But, we have come up with some more evidence, I think, haven't we, Jane?
Yeah, there's a different incident, but, yeah, he's had some photographs where the pole was, but the ones we've got on CCTV are too old because we didn't ask Terry to download the recent ones. But
Can I just understand it, because if I was a member of the public, this has been increasingly confusing. We have a one-way system,
Yeah,
which is designated by Essex County Council,
yeah,
that doesn't have a sign on it. And we have to prove to Essex County Council that
Yeah.
we've got a one-way system, so they'll put a sign on it. Surely they've designated it.
yeah, basically.
Yeah, right.
Just to say, now we've got the attention of Essex County Council because we're friendly with many signs. I think when we reply to I think we can actually point out that, and just to say, you know, because I know that Councillor Kate was going to clean one of the bollards up by the
Yeah, the
church.
ones up by the school,
which
and we
is
had to
actually-
clean them again, and they're not even there anymore, one of them's missing completely.
So, you know, I'm not, take two to tango, don't you? There we go.
Well, I must admit, I'm totally confused by that. So, shall we? I think we should let council write a letter to the highways.
Because it's a matter of public
We got one from them the other day, we might as well send one.
yeah. We have got evidence, I mean, there's videos and
Yeah, will you in conjunction with your group write a letter, and I'll sign it as from the council, because I think it's ridiculous. We have to prove to the highways committee that there's.
Well, they would agree to.
It's unbelievable. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, there's just one, we've had a letter about bus stop on her screen, but I think we've got that's coming up.
We'll take that as a question in the
Take that
public.
as a question, yeah, so that's all then.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions or comments? No, thank you. I assume, Jean, you're proposing that?
Yeah, can I propose the,
Yeah.
hedge
Do we have a
signs?
seconder, please? Okay. Yeah. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Moving on then to the welfare resident services. Okay.
Nothing more to add on the next thing,
Okay, there's no
no
recommendation?
recommendation.
Yeah, thank you very much. Moving on to then the comms and communications. John's the chair, but does anybody help anything?
Well, yeah, I did put a suggestion forward, but we're going to talk about it in the next
Okay, so I'll leave that.
So one question on the Chronicle advert. It was, a couple of people have mentioned how difficult it is to read the, especially the white and yellow background text.
Right.
So I think there needs to be a bit more contrast in the
Okay.
font colours that we're using.
Okay, well, we'll take that to the meeting.
Can I just also ask the comms team to be aware that we're going to print a leaflet on the boat park, because we have some spare spaces, and I think there's a lack of awareness in the public that these spaces are available, and they're very good value, and they can be very, very useful to people. So there will be a leaflet made, and perhaps the comms team could actually push that out.
Okay.
James?
Jane?
I was just going to say, I think we were going to ask the comms team if they would look into how we answer or how questions are answered on social media.
That's going to be subject to our next meeting.
So that will be a subject of their next meeting,
Oh, right, okay.
particularly over the 2020 signs.
Okay. We'll deal with that.
What happened?
So I don't think there's a report, so there's nothing
No.
to that, but we'll take those points forward.
Yeah,
At the next conference. Okay, thank you very much. If we can therefore move on to item 8, which is the finance and part A.
Hey, thank you very much, Chair. Minutes of the finance meeting happened on Tuesday, on the 19th of August. The minutes are in front of you. The first recommendation is that the risk assessment, recommended start of the council, that one thing. The risk assessment document that we have now completed and you have been circulated. Hopefully you can accept it tonight. It's a fairly good assessment of our risks in the current day, which our auditor will like.
Next one is recommendation on local government service pay, which we've implemented. Special expenses was done. And on prepayments, the council, the finance committee examined other councils whereby now we have a very good card system, credit card system in the front office. And to save time, we're going to go for prepayments on bookings for council services in the future. So when people book something, they can pay for it up front, and if there is any time when they say, look, we didn't actually play a game or something, it's a very simple system to credit back or give credit or whatever. So that was the agreement of the council finance committee. There was on the recommendation, you can see that we're taking sort of an interesting view on football and cricket because we need to monitor that a bit, but basically we want to move to prepayments. The next one is recommendation of the culling of the crab, which I think we did that, and we have I think that's the last one of recommendations.
There's one that we missed here, which was we recommended the new investment, treasury and investment.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we actually haven't got a recommendation on that, but yes, we are we're recommending that through the treasury investment policy should be written. That has now been completed, a copy of which is sent out in the list of the meeting. Is that being?
Yeah, well, we need to adopt that investment policy,
So that should be a recommendation on the treasury. Yeah, recommended. So there's 7 recommendations. Yeah.
Okay, questions?
I've got one question regarding the crab, I'm afraid. The signs came to the last meeting, and I believe were agreed in principle, but you wanted some additional wording put into it. We put the additional wording in, but now I'm slightly confused as to what the issue is with the signs.
Okay.
So if you can tell me what the sign issue is, and then I can.
I think the committee felt that it was not that easy to read. There were too many words on it, and perhaps we would like to see less of them, but bigger ones, so people can actually read them. Otherwise, people won't notice them. And I think also finance had said at the previous meeting, we would ask you to consider a facility for collecting old crabbing lines where there is a need. And I don't think you actually did look at that.
Yes, I did.
Oh, did you? It's not in the
Oh, isn't it? Right. Apologies.
So that was, I think that was what we felt. We felt that the sign was really a bit unclear because of too many words on it.
So it might have helped if you presented it at the right size. So just the one that you saw was half the size of actually what the sign actually would be in real life.
Okay, we were not.
We all had the dimensions. Yeah, because they were read out. So they're A3, which is twice the size of what you.
I think if I remind me if this is correct, but I think we agreed to that.
They agreed on it.
Yeah.
So it's there to be done, and they were our comments. We passed them back to you to.
I think I did propose the money, but I couldn't get a seconder. So.
I thought
that's
in
what
the
I
end,
think
they're
is.
in
It's a
there.
recommendation.
Yeah, in the end, we approved the money and said, yes, you've got the money.
Yeah.
We were just making comments about the size, but obviously weren't seeing the finished product.
Yeah, I just wanted to know what the issue was, so I can take it back.
I think that was it. It was,
That was the collection of the old crabbing lines.
so if I may,
Proposed, I'm happy to propose.
can I have a seconder, please? Jane, thank you. All those in favour? Any against? No, thank you very much. And therefore, if I can move on to part B, confirmation of the recommendations of the members examining the account.
Councillor Howard and I will examine the accounts for July 25 and under the delegated authority to the Finance Committee confirm that 28 payments in the sum of £16,113.18 have been authorised and paid. The statements of balances on the following accounts are to be accepted. Current account £59,499.65. Business premium account £28,743.13. The other business premium account £797. CCLA Public Sector Deposit Fund £51,728.25. Instant Access account £43,826.95. current T2 account, 26,657.14, making a total on all accounts of £211,243.12.
Well done.
Income for July 25 is 26,136.77. Expenditure for July 25, £32,086.50. Income to date, 1st of April to 31st of July 25, £226,468.55. Expenditure to date, 1st of April to 31st of July 25, £152,434.07. Employee payments paid for the month of July 25 for £18,260.62.
Thank you very much. Jean, I assume you're going to second that? Propose.
Sorry, yeah, I second.
All those in favour? Oh, there's a question, sorry.
So the, I noticed that the staff award is 3.2%. My recollection is that is below what we put into the budget. So we'll be making a saving. So will we by any chance do a projection of the financial position as we see it at the end of the year?
The aim is to have the end of the year is to have 150,000 in our coffers, which represents about 9 months of the precept, which puts us clearly in the green as regards the auditor's recommendations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And looking at the payroll, it's just with the NAIC increases, so I'm sure there'll be about £2,000 in. That needs a bit further work, but something like that.
It was a pretty close projection, so on a scheme of what, over 200,000, we're £2,000 within the budget, so pretty accurate. Okay, is there any other question? So I presume we have a proposer and seconder. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Carried. If we can therefore move on to item 9, planning. Jane.
Yeah, you have the minutes of the planning meetings for the 29th of July and 12th of August. Can I move that we accept the recommendations on that?
Okay, do you want to second that, please? Richard seconds. All those in favour? Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to item 10, which is questions from the public. So, I think the lady there was the first one. Oh, just before we start your question, if I may, we have a written question. I've just been reminded. So I'll get the deputy mayor to read it out, and I think one of our members will reply.
Thank you. This is a written question to the council, the 21st of August, from Mr. Gary Lambert. It's headed "Hard Standing at the Hurst Green Bus Stop." One of the excuses for not taking my suggestion further was that there was some fear that a hard standing would encourage antisocial behaviour, as has happened in the past when a bench was installed on the green. Since the bench in question was installed, how many complaints or reports of ASB has the council received? Please break down complaints/reports by month from the benches installed. I would like to remind the council that the bus stop is used quite often by many people, some of whom have mobility issues and waiting for a bus, whilst they struggle to stand on muddy grass, isn't ideal, especially when the remedy is a very simple one.
Jane, you've got the answer.
I don't know if Mr. Lambert's here tonight. Is Mr. Lambert here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, hello. Yeah, we do take your questions very seriously. But I've got an answer here. It's mainly from our groundsman. I think we had answered you, haven't we?
Well, you had sort of answered me. I got the impression I was fobbed off.
No, No, not at all.
Well,
not
that's
at
the
all.
impression I was
We
given.
take great store by what our groundsman says. He knows
But
Brighton
it doesn't
so
get
well.
muddy. A piece of
Sorry?
grass, he said that it doesn't get muddy. It's grass. Why does grass not get muddy?
Well, can I just read you
Of
this?
course do.
It says on September the 3rd, we received an email from the resident, yourself, from Hurst Green, complaining about the newly installed bench on.
No, that, I didn't
No, that's
complain about a
not you, is
newly
it?
installed bench.
Oh, this is to your question about how many people.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. You asked how many people had complained about the benches.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the answer to that. And that people haven't complained about the newly installed benches on the south side of Hurst Green. They said that the existing benches are a magnet for nighttime gatherers and drinkers, young and old, who congregate, talk, shout in the early hours of the morning, especially in warmer months. And we did have a lot of complaints about that.
How many complaints?
Many
was my
verbal
question.
comments have been made to grounds team regarding benches.
Well, I
with
live
hard
just
standing.
up the way, and there's no antisocial behaviour on Hurst Green at all that
Okay.
I've seen.
But that you asked about
Yeah.
previous complaints,
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
what
So
we.
there are no issues of antisocial behaviour at the moment.
Okay. Our groundsman says that it doesn't get muddy there. The area around the bus stop is well maintained grass. The soil is sandy loam. This is free draining, so it doesn't get muddy, as claimed. And on some occasions, the grass may become worn, and this grass grows back quickly. Apparently, it just rolls off a bit. So that is our answer, I'm afraid.
No,
Our
that's
groundsman
fine.
thinks there's not a call for
So these
hard
people
standing.
that are waiting for the bus in all weathers have to put up with standing on this free draining grass.
Can I make a suggestion, sir, that if you were to gather some more signatures, then maybe we will reconsider this situation. We're not denying it happens, but we do not have evidence other than from yourself. So if you're saying that many people there are standing there in mud and things like that, an inconvenience, maybe a quick collection of signatures or something like that, so that we get a better idea of the numbers involved.
I use that bus stop,
Right?
and there isn't a problem.
You see, this is the
Really?
problem, sir. Yeah.
I
I get that.
I've never had a problem.
Can I just say?
Yes.
Jen, I think the bus stop's in the wrong spot. It's in a terrible spot there.
It's not ideal because people
Because
have
when
to
the
step
buses
down
stop
up
there,
front.
it blocks
Yeah.
the whole road off for a start, and they can't get round it.
Yeah.
If they moved it down to where the junction is quite wide there, isn't it? Even if they moved it down to there,
Yes.
even, you
Yeah.
could get a past in.
No, because people park there.
Pardon?
People park
Well,
there.
they wouldn't be able to
And where
park
the
there,
bus
Dave,
stop
if they
is
bus
now,
stop there.
there's one opposite it, so people do go there.
Okay, I'm quite willing to accept questions and answers,
But you'd
but
have
we
to
can't
say
get
that
into a
bus stop,
debate here.
of course.
Can I suggest that the three of you get together after this, because it sounds like there may be an alternative to just moving the back, I don't know. Michael, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I think moving it closer to the junction might cause an obstruction.
Probably,
you.
it causes an obstruction at the
Okay.
moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, can I suggest that the three of you have a chat after this?
People trying to sorry, Chris.
That's okay, okay. Thank you. Then if I can move on to the public questions now. Now, can I ask anybody that asks a question, they stand up and tell us who they are?
Sue Cook, I was wondering if it'd be possible to replace the waste bin in Victoria Place, the one near the fountain, with a covered-in one, because the times I go past there with the dog in the morning, and there's rubbish strewn all over, it's seagulls. I caught a massive great one in there the other morning.
Did you?
Well, I didn't catch it, 'cause it's terrifying, but it was throwing all the stuff all over
Could you just explain the one you're talking about?
the one nearest to the fountain.
Okay, we know where that is. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, we can take that away and pass it to one of our.
I can probably give you an answer on that, actually. We are, as per my report, we are doing the location of all the bins.
Yeah.
Tendering's policy, the new policy, is they're going to do away with separate bins for dog poo and normal waste. They're going to get one bin for all of it.
Yeah.
So,
This is a general waste, you know.
yeah, I know, yeah. So,
I mean,
but we're going to look at the state of all the bins as well. 'Cause we know that some of them are
you know, This is a particularly
needs to be
nasty
replaced.
one.
Yeah.
I think the youngsters get over there and put all their sort of fish and chip wrappers
Oh,
in,
okay.
and that's what all gets thrown all over
Yeah.
the place
So,
by the seagulls.
Okay, I think is a tendering bin?
yeah, the ones there are, yeah. But we will,
Oh, well,
We'll put our tendering councillors onto that one for you.
Thank you.
More questions? I'll take the gentleman over there first, he had his hand up.
Lady,
I do beg your pardon, you're in front, I can just see your head.
Robbie Longhurst. Last month you talked about the caravan parked on Promenade Way, and it's still there. This morning, he's got 2 vehicles, neither of which are the matching number plate to the caravan, just saying. But what is my concern is, you're keen on looking at having it as a no overnight stays on that road. I find it reassuring having campers on that road, because I'm an early morning dog walker like myself. When Terry, the bin man, was there, it was lovely, because you'd be there quite dark and you'd see Terry. There's no one around, and having those overnight campers is quite reassuring for someone who's out early. It prevents antisocial behaviour, and there's very few places for these overnight campers to go now. Taking the caravan out of it, what is the position? Are we in support of having overnight campers, or do we just?
My understanding about that, and people correct me, is that is a very long process. And when we met the police recently, how they were going to move that gentleman was by getting a dispersal order, which is even, and there is some debate whether we can get that through the commissioner or we have to go to a magistrate. And I think we're waiting for that decision before we can do it. Do you have?
yeah, can I just add to that really? We're aware that Clacton, for instance, have got an order now because of the air show. So I've got to catch up with the lady, the officer who actually organised that. And I know that Councillor Barry has been in contact with the North East Essex Parking Partnership. But from our point of view, we can also do public order protection, public open space protection order.
Public space protection.
Yeah, that's it. So that's what we're going to look at as well. So yeah, so that's.
Are we not going to follow up this dispersal?
Oh yeah. But I know, you know, I do sort of travel around a bit looking at these, and a lot of places have got no overnight, and they'll go from say 8 p.m. to say 8 a.m. so people can't park there during those hours, and that seems to work where they've got those.
Not quite answered my question.
No, you want it to stay.
I wanted to know what is our response. Are we after having it as a no overnight parking, or are we going to support campers coming down there? So taking the caravan out of it, because he's a special case that needs to be dealt with.
Well, I think it's a you know, striking balance, because you can get some huge campers there who virtually live there for 6 months of the year, and I personally don't think that's a proper use of public highway when you have visitors who want to come and go during the summer season. And I mean, if we do go down that road, literally, of overnight stays, there will have to be a public consultation, and there will have to be, some discussion, some further discussion about it. So, I mean, I take your point, but I don't see many people parking there overnight in the winter. Other than people who are, I'm not arguing. I'm just saying I've never seen many. But I think it's just a question of getting the right information and putting it forward for a considered decision. And I take your point. I hadn't heard that point made before. But I think it's more about keeping the place looking tidy and fit for purpose for visitors and residents to use that area, rather than big camper vans, lorries, etc. So.
Can I just add as well, obviously we've had quite a good summer with the actual people coming in, there was a bit of an incident there where people were obviously up and down the prom, and one of them sort of made it awkward for some of the traffic to pass, and got a little bit verbal and a little bit heated. So It's really getting a balance act on how we control it, really.
That's the daily thing, people being verbal down there, because it's a one-way system, isn't it? Once you've got car parks, that's not unusual.
I'll find
Deputy Mayor.
I was just going to make the point that we do have a tenant who provides a service of caravan parking in a proper designated area. That's where they should go, not really on the road. Lately, I've been going down there quite a lot, and people just cannot find a car parking space, and these caravans are just dominating it.
It's not
Or
open
a lot of it.
12
And
hours, it's not open 12
I
hours
don't
a
see
year.
this, why they should have that facility just to sit there.
Because it's
Sit there all
closed in the
summer.
winter.
Pardon?
The campsite's closed in the winter.
Yeah, we're talking about now in the summer. Well, you can't find a car parking space.
Well, you can't find a camper van's parking space either.
Can I just, so at the current situation is that we're not actively looking to do this.
Thank you.
It is something in the back burner that we will re-examine and discuss, and when we get to that point, we will have a public consultation on it.
Lovely.
At the moment, our focus is to remove the one that's there, this is why we're going through the disposal order, and I don't have. Disposal. I know what I mean.
I like the idea of disposal, though.
Dispersal order, and so, and that's what the current situation is, okay, so there's not an active at the moment intent to do that,
Brilliant.
okay? There's another question, yes, Richard?
Richard Price. Jane, the Chief Inspector's visit was cancelled because he's been involved in Epping. When is he any news when he's going to come down?
We have a date, yeah.
We do have
Yeah, we do have a date, I think it's,
I've got
End of-
diary.
isn't it September
24th, I think.
September 24th, I think.
Okay, thank you.
But we'll check it and let you know.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Next question, yes?
Dave Stone. The council put up illegal road signs illegally on the highway. So the questions really are, one is, do some of our councillors think they're above the law? And the second one is, in future, wherever signs are put up, will you have authority from the highways, as you should do?
Okay, I'll answer that for the council. A mistake was made. Not everybody in the council has the technical knowledge of some of our members or some of our residents either. The signs were made in the best intent to slow people down and to protect the people of the town. They made an error. The Highways Committee has very quickly told us that. We immediately found that out and removed them. More signs will go up, but they will be legally correct. I believe they are heart-shaped rather than round, and they are green rather than red, which apparently is perfectly legal. And I think the intent is still there, that we'd like to protect the people of the town from speeding traffic, and therefore they will go up again. And I can only apologise that some of the members here got a bit enthusiastic in trying to protect the town, and it won't happen again. Do we have any other questions? Yeah. Just before I take yours, I thought there was any other questions? Sorry, I'll give you a second one then. Carry on.
Robin on this. I don't get to come to many of these meetings due to work commitments, but been 3 in a row, and each one it's been update from Bateman's Tower, not received, update from Bateman's Tower. It just seems to be such a slow process. Are we being pulled along again from a tenant?
Well, at the last FCA meeting, we hadn't had a report, and I believe from that meeting, we've written a letter to the lady that leases it, and I had a thought, we were talking about it earlier, that I think we should also write to the architect, civil engineer. I think professionally, he will probably answer us.
I thought we did.
To the actual.
We did before, yes. The FCA notes have been approved tonight, so that's the action point for me to file on.
Oh, right.
But yes, we write to the architect,
Right to
copy
the-
the tenant.
Okay, I would hope under his, professionalism, he'll answer that answer quite back, so.
Hopefully you understand my concerns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm sure they are reflected within the council. Is there any other questions? Then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I then move on to item 11, Town Clerk's report.
Thank you. Just the one item from the Gloucester Carnival Association. Okay,
Okay,
would you like to stay or would you like to go?
no, leave the room. Legally, I'm meant to leave the room, so I'll leave the room.
Okay. Firstly, they have thanked us for allowing them to use the recreation ground for Carnival Day this year, and they're now requesting permission to use recreation ground again for Carnival 26 on Saturday, 20th of June
Next year,
next year.
2000.
They have also confirmed they will be having a street procession with the same route as this year.
Okay, I think, are we all content with that? Any objections? No, I think that's fine. Is there any other?
No, that's it from me, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Pardon?
Yeah,
Jane,
give
oh,
him
Jane, come
back
back
in
in.
Just go home, all right, that's good time.
Jane, sit down. Thank you very much. Close. Close the meeting. Thank you very much.
She's on hold.